All right, so today's video, we have a gold 4 tank on PC playing D.Va. And they say, hey, I feel like I didn't have much impact during the team fights. Most of the games go smoothly and easily, but this game dragged on quite a while, so I want to see what I was doing wrong during the moment. There are quite a bit of times where I could have, I don't know why I said could have like that. I could have saved my backline supports if I had DM, so I need to work on when to use it and when not to use it. You know, I'm gonna, before I read the rest of it here, I want to point something out. In 5v5, you talk about saving your backline sometimes, and a lot of the time right now, the option is actually not to do that. And it's an interesting style, but like a lot of like tanking now is just trade in backlines rather than being able to save your backline, because a lot of some of the heroes right now like are just you can't peel for. Like it's like impossible. Like I can't really peel for like, you know, a Doomfist and a Venture going into the backline, right? So a lot of it is hero dependent on who you're going against. So we'll see, and we can kind of talk about that then. But I just want to point out that there's going to be games where it's impossible to like be able to peel. Anyway, it says I also struggle on how to approach chokes like this with the Hanzo, poking my health away, along with the Ana sleeping me constantly. Please help me out. Well, I haven't had a D.Va VOD in a while, so I definitely can do my best to help you out, and we'll go from there. I'll do my best to help you out on D.Va here, and we'll see what happens. All right, I like how you're clearing the left door. There, Ryan's playing aggro. I'm okay with you doing that for now. Correct play. I already have something I want you to get out of the habit of, because I think this will be really helpful. I want to get you out of the habit of flying to the location that's like 3 feet in front of you. All right? I want you to get out of the habit of doing that. And sorry, the reason why I'm laughing is because chat's spamming a horse with bits right now. So I want to be able to see like you kind of get to your spots without flying to them. Again, it's not like it's about high ground control. Like like that's when you want to fly to get stuff. So if you fly up here, this is fine, right? But if you fly, you know, from here to here, that's not going to be a good play. Like that, if I see that on the other team, I'm like, okay, I can DMAC D.Va right now. Like D.Va can be DMAC'd easily. So I want you to learn of like when it's a good time to fly to a location to get your spots and when you shouldn't do it. And like right in front of them for 2 feet is not the way to do it. Because it's just an obvious like, you know, time to get you, right? You're going to have a bit of a cooldown on that one, so. Breaking the shield fine for now. They're not really putting any pressure on you, so you don't need to do anything. Good job doing that. Even there, like, you didn't necessarily have to fly in there. I might have done the same, but like I'm just trying to point out to you locations where you don't want to do as much. Good backline. Again, that's the backline pressure I'm talking about. Do you notice how at no point you paid attention to your team there? You notice how at no point you didn't pay attention to your team? That's kind of where tanking has kind of gone in the 5v5 setting sometimes with D.Va, is like you don't, it's one of those things where it's like, it's really hard to peel effectively now as D.Va sometimes, right? Like it's not, in Overwatch 1, a lot of it in the 6v6 setting was you like kind of peel for your teammates. There's 2 different tanks. D.Va kind of fell into that like off tank mentality. Not so much anymore, right? D.Va nowadays kind of has to go for those kills at the backline. So you going for the Hanzo was a really good play. That's why I want, basically was the point I'm trying to, I'll get back. All right, here we go. But yeah, a lot of like 5v5 tanking style is trading backlines rather than saving backlines, which is kind of feels bad at times. Again, that doesn't mean it's going to happen like that all the time, right? There's heroes that can peel better than others. D.Va's kind of lost that a little bit recently. It's still decent, but not as good. Big time. Thanks for the 2 months with the Prime sub, and thank you for all the bits. Appreciate everybody. Okay, so far you've had a pretty like decent start. I want to kind of point something out here too. One of the things I will say about this too is like you're gonna look at this VOD, right? And someone's gonna hear me say like, yeah, like you're playing fine there. Believe it or not all of Overwatch gameplay is gonna be you flying around getting 100 limbs. Sometimes like less is more. You had a clean start. You're not doing anything like spectacular like killing months. 5.
That's almost a year.
Right? You're not doing anything spectacular like killing 5 or anything like that. You're doing what you're supposed to do. It doesn't have to look amazing. Like you can just play clean, and that wins a lot of games. Consistency will win you a lot of games. You said that's what happens a lot in your games. You get yelled at on tank for not having that many limbs. Well, that's the thing is like you don't have to go and get 45 limbs every game as tank. You just need to time your aggression correctly. So like so far everything's been fine, right? You can't really go for high ground control yet. Let me show people because like people are like, what about going for high ground? D.Va wasn't gonna be able to go for high ground. Look at this. Look at the setup we have here. We have a Hanzo Over here, you have a Soldier 76 right here. You have a D.Va right here. Like, there's no way you could get high ground efficiently. So sometimes you got to wait on the cart. Now, before we even get into what you're going to do next, you probably want to know what the next steps are here, right? 2 steps on here on D.Va. 1, you end up sitting on the cart, right? You just sit on the cart and you get the cart going for a little bit till it gets better here. 2, you isolate the Hanzo. I think that would be the next step here. 3, you take high ground up here. And you start to kind of slowly approach. Now you go, what about my teammates down here? Well, this is the part that gets kind of tricky, right? Where you think you need a peel. Unfortunately, it's not. Your version of peel here is going to be peeling pressure away from the team, right? So the pressure you're gonna pull away from the team would be flying up here. Because if you fly up here, right? If you fly up here, they're gonna have to look for you. And what happens if they don't look for you? Then you just go around and get all the kills. So it's a win-win for you, right? In that sense. The only way that, you know, obviously if your teammates die is what it is, right? But like, if you go up here and you take this high ground control, if they don't turn for you, you get free kills, you get free kind of backline pressure. If they do turn for you, now your teammates get space. And again, if you look at it, it doesn't look like you're not showing up on the stat sheet, you're not getting 100 of limbs, you're not doing all that, but you're creating space for your team. So sometimes simple plays like that can be where you go. We'll see how you play, but something I've been doing now is I'm trying to kind of predict things you can do before I watch what you do. So that way people can kind of get the idea of what I might do in this situation, see what you do, and then kind of go off of that after, right? Sometimes I'll wait till after and it's kind of more of a hindsight. Yep, you don't worry about this right now. But like, I also want you to... Okay, you went for, this is an option. I'm okay with this. Good backline pressure, this is correct. See? And this is what happens, right? So I spent a lot of early Overwatch 2, even like as of probably up to 6 months ago, trying to do this, right? This is what I did, okay? This is what I try to do. I would try to come back and peel. What's the problem with that, chat? You can't. You're just giving up so much space. So what's happened in 5v5 tanking nowadays, and this is something that, like I said, it took me a long time to adapt to, is you're going to want to stay up there. At this point, you're all in, right? If you fall back to peel, the other team has already won, all right? The other team has already won at this point. Because what you've done is you've turned your back to their whole team to go back and help, but they've already created pressure here. So you're going to get demacked. Your teammates are going to end up falling over. But what happens if you kill the Zenyatta here, right? What happens if you kill the Soldier 76? What happens if you kill what in the world is going on here with Kiriko? Okay, what would happen if you kill them? That's way more value than nothing happening over here, right? Because if you get a kill, any trade, you already benefited your team. Yes, you're going to respawn, but there's a difference when they have to respawn all the way from over here, make it all the way back to here, and your teammates have to spawn from here and be able to get pressure. So your vision here is trade in the back line, not going back to peel. And again, I made this mistake for quite a while on D.Va. I made this mistake for quite a while because in Overwatch 1 D.Va, you're going to be peeling, going for kills occasionally, right? If you play some 6v6 right now, you probably see that play style. In 5v5, sometimes you got to go to the back line, accept that you're going to trade too. They might win the overall team fight, but when you're on attacks or anything, trades matter. That gives you the space that you need for the next team fight. It's not the most thrilling way to have to go about it because, like, personally, I like to peel for my teammates, but it's one of those styles you just kind of have to, like, adjust to as you're playing tank. So, all right, here we go. Anyway, you end up getting D-Mech there. Also, chat, have you been enjoying this more in-depth breakdown? I've been hearing feedback on that one, but I always like to check. I like going into more of the details now of why it's going to work or why it doesn't work, rather than kind of like leaving it up for interpretation for each. Like, it's just, I like showcasing that a little bit more. So I think it helps with the tips aspect of the video, but I just wanted to make sure. I think I'm going in the right direction with it. Anyway, here we go. So you get D-Mech there, go again. Okay, yep, waiting on your team's fine here. There's really nothing you can do in this situation while waiting for your team. So like, okay, D.Va's right there. Now, okay. So this is the next step. Pressure the D.Va. Start pressuring the D.Va early because they've now overcommitted. Yep, perfect play. Now wait, just wait. Wait, 2 more seconds. Wait it out. Nope. Okay, this is fine for now. I don't like you going for the high ground. I'll take it. It happened too. Okay, I'm glad it kind of went the way it did. So the reason why I didn't want you to fly up there was because the D.Va got nanoed, the baby D.Va. And at this point, all you need to do as a team is make sure this D.Va doesn't remac and just wait a second, right? That was it. Like you demacked the D.Va and went, I gotta go up there now. Just give it a second. Just wait. Get your cooldowns back. You know, DM some of the D.Va's like, you know, shots. Don't let baby D.Va remac. Wait 2 seconds, go back in. They soldier out, back up one more time, you're all set, you would now have the advantage. Instead, you go in, like, it's not the worst play that you went in. It's just that, like, you just got a good play on the D.Va. Yeah, you're overpeeling. You're doing, yep, I know what you're doing right now because I did this for quite a bit. You're overpeeling. You're so focused on trying to peel back for this D.Va rather than go forward and do what that D.Va's doing. Right? Wait, see how that D.Va's distracting you and distracting your team? That's exactly what you need to do. The people on the high ground, if the D.Va's never going to peel for you, you have opportunity to trade and keep them out of the team fight. Yep. So, well, that's where it's going wrong on the peel. So I want you to think about more backline trades. I see a Zenyatta. I see a Zenyatta to your left. That's who's next. But you've already lost your HP because you just stood there, right? So instead, there you go. You do what you're supposed to do, but you do it too late. So now their Zen ultimate's going to get way more value than it would be if you're forcing it out early. Now that soldier was certainly ambitious about going in there in the 1v4, like not the 1v4, like literally just you alive, so that soldier wouldn't even get any value anyway. So that trade could lead to good things because now you get the kill on the D.Va. Now you're sitting here waiting. Don't run at them. Numbers advantage. He said, don't you think overpeeling can work if you've got cracked DPS? It's a good question. Let me ask you this question here, Alex, right? Because it is a great question. If this D.Va had DPS getting pick after pick, would the D.Va even be in a position where you have to constantly peel? You see what I'm saying? So a lot of the time, it's a good question because if I have a DPS that's like popping off, yeah, I can peel, but like I have a feeling we're already pushing the cart, right? Like way further than that, right? So like it's not even that their DPS are playing bad. It's just like you need to set up your DPS, right? Like they're not like look at what DPS are playing. Soldier 76 and Echo, right? They take some time to get kills. So like you're not going to be able to sit there and just sit back and wait. You need to create space for them to be able to get to their spots. So, you know, it's one of those things where the overpeel is basically not giving your teammates opportunity. Let me ask you this question. All right, if you're playing DPS, do you prefer when everybody's in front of your face giving you about 2 feet to work with, or when you can move into an area, have a bunch of room to move around, and be able to shoot at people? Right? When you get aggressive as D.Va, you create that. When you fall back, you basically make it so you're all together, right? In some moments, that can be really good. Also, for people wondering what perk I've been taking on the minor perk, believe it or not, I've been taking the other perk down because you have the increased damage on your boot when you fly into people. Love that aggression. Now, what is the difference here, chat? Yes, the D.Va's in the backline killing your Echo, but you've now yourself gone into their backline and killed a Zen for free. See? So now you've created space. You've created backline pressure. Yes, the D.Va went into your backline and killed someone, but now you're in front of their Ana. Your teammates have full opportunity to kill the Ana, and you can maybe trade the backline. If you don't win the team fight right here, you know what I say to that? Good play by the other team. That's it. Just a good play by the other team. I wouldn't have fallen back here. I actually would have just played up there and forced somewhere else. Either way, you're fine. Don't use your ult here. I just go off the map. Because of the numbers advantage, so it was a bit of a misstep. So, yeah, I mean, truthfully, thus far, the problem you're running into straight up is that you're overpeeling. Yeah, you're just trying so much to go and, like, help your team that it's not helping your team as much as you think it is because you're not giving them any opportunity to work with some space. Exactly. Creating space allows them to pop off more. Yep. It took me a while. It took me quite a bit to adapt to that playstyle because I played so much 6v6 Overwatch as a tank that the default playstyle as D.Va is to help your team. No, you can't. Okay, so I do want to. Mark asked a question, so you can't peel. It's not that you can't peel. I want to reiterate that. It's that you need to time your peel, right? Like you need to time your peel to not make it your default play style. In my opinion, it used to be that it would be you would have certain aggressive styles in, like, let's say the 6v6 style. You would time your aggression for the right spots, and then you would peel the majority of the time because you have your other tank. In 5v5, I think it's kind of flipped. It's more you're going to go for backline pressure more consistently and try to create a bunch of space that way. And then if you need to peel back occasionally, you can. I also want to kind of make something clear here on the aggression part. When I say be aggressive, I am not telling you to fly into their backline every single team fight, get demeched, and go, hey, I created space, what are you doing? That's not what we're saying. Aggression means exactly what we saw from the D.Va, getting that kill in the Zenyatta, pressure in the Ana, but like not necessarily getting the kills, just enough to. All right, Arnie just came in and ran away. Just enough to like make them have to worry about you, but you don't necessarily have to feed. You just need to make them look at you, right? again, I showed an example earlier where you can just fly up to the high ground. That's creating space without feeding, right? Well, technically you could feed if they go for you, but like you're creating space either way. So just don't run into their team. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. What? No. Get out of here. Okay, I guess your vision's to control the high ground, but if your team is all running back, aren't you just going to get D-Max soon? Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Good job by your BAP and your Kiriko to throw lamp and save you. Okay, I like this on the soldier. Yep, good job. Yep, you're doing it. Okay, chat. Remember earlier, like, was the circle back earlier? Remember, circle back. Here we go again. Remember earlier when I said that, like, one of the things I saw you do is you would fly 2 feet? Why'd you fly 2 feet again? You just wasted a cooldown. Now you have no way to escape. You're forced into the peel. And then once you get the kill, okay, I want to give somebody, or not somebody, like people advice in Overwatch. If you get a kill and there's no immediate follow-up, like you can't go there, don't go and force the follow-up. Just take the numbers advantage. Get your cooldowns back. Go in with full HP, right? Like, that is what you need to do in those situations rather than just do that, right? Thankfully, you end up surviving that, but you could have easily fallen over. Believe it or not, this is pretty close to the correct play. Like, you're doing the right thing. Yep, just keep going. This is what you got to do. Yep. So let's take a look at that. You didn't look back at your team, right? Which is fine. You went for their back line. Your DPS popped off, and now you have created space for your team. And you get the point. See? You went for their backline. They had no way to be able to follow up on any of the other stuff D.Va was doing. A victory for your team. See that? Zenyatta, yep, forced out ultimate. Unfortunate that, honestly, that was just a good Hanzo ultimate. I'm not even mad at that. You pick up the kill. What rank is this? I think gold. You got some ults out? This is fine. Again, that early aggression by you on the Zenyatta, forced out a Zenyatta ultimate, forced out a nano. This doesn't look like a one team fight, right? It's not, but it's an important team fight. You got some ultimates out. That's good. All right, here we go. So, right idea. I mean, I know what you're doing there. Right idea. Good job. Good play by Soldier. You're probably going, hey, can I go for that Soldier in the back line? It's already too late. Just go for the front line. Yeah, you're good. Yep, this is correct. This is it. I love this, by the way. Chat, this is what I'm talking about, okay? So what happened this team fight? Ignore, like, you know, the Hanzo making a good play here, okay? Like ignore all of that. But what a sequence here. You can't peel for the Soldier, so the Soldier's right here. You go into the back line, you get essentially 2 kills, almost a third. The Soldier here they're melting. Your Soldier's melting. But, like, look overall. Now this Soldier's stuck there. Free kill on the Soldier. Your team's going to get space now. You're not going to win you're going to win this team fight. Remember? At no point did you peel. You went for good backline trades. Your teammates are going to get card time. See what I mean? Like, yes, could you have tried to peel that, but it wouldn't have mattered. You would have lost. Look at that. Right? Look how much space your team just got. All because you went into their backline and got trades. Right? Win or lose this team fight, you've given yourself more space on third point to work with. If for some reason, like, they push it to third point. Right? Yeah, good sleep by their honor. Throw a D.Va here. Just throw it anywhere. Put it right there. Perfect. Stay on the point. Try your best to stay around it. Great, got a kill. You've done everything you could there. You already were at a disadvantage here. But you got the card to end of third off those trades. That's a win. Right? You take that. It was one of those grindy halves, but you take that. That was good, in my opinion. That was a good play. You did good. Made you rethink how you play D.Va. I had to do the same. Don't worry. I'm a little bit concerned with how you approach that backline, but I'm okay with it. Right idea. I thought they might deback you on that. So I want to point out, I like what you did there, but I want you to also concentrate on, like, keeping... Okay, so you know how you flew in here? I think the best play you could actually do is do this, is angle yourself like that. You got out, but I want you to think about... I'm just going to reverse back for a second. I know this is kind of dumb, but, like, I think it's good to show this. Where's their D.Va? Where's their Bastion at? I want to... Oh, this is already... I went way too far ahead. Okay, so I want to kind of show what you do here. So look at the other team when you're doing this. Do you see how you're kind of like, your back is turned? I just think that if you do this every single time, you're going to fall over. So you need to make sure you land up here. So that way you can land up here, bait them to you. If the D.Va flies to you, they can't really get to you, then fly out. I just think this is a little bit risky. Again, you get out, but can you see why they would be able to, like, there's a world where they could just demech you there? And that's that. So, like, I think that was more of a bad play by their team not being able to get you than it was, like, you going in and making the best play on that. Right idea, though. Just got to position yourself better. Going into the team, DM a little bit. Yep. Everything's clean thus far. Oh yeah, the wasted boosters are a consistent thing, which I mean I brought up a few times. Yeah, like you can't stop flying at their team. If I see you fly at me as D.Va like in front of my face, and it's not to like go and just run into my team and make a play, then like I'm gonna just constantly poke you out, right? Like even here, like you're getting aggressive. So like you're basically making it difficult on your team, so they feel obligated to push up. This is one of those team fights that are eventually gonna grind you down, I think. Like you're just gonna run out of resources eventually if you spend 4 minutes playing like this. It's okay to take a second to get your HP back. It's okay to wait on your defense matrix. It's as long as you're denying the choke when the time matters, you're probably in a good spot. Again, you're doing fine. I'm just trying to get you into better habits for this sequence, because like it's not always gonna work this way, right? It's not always gonna work this way. So I'm just trying to clean up that gameplay a little bit. So you flew in here, you have no escape for a bit, but you should be okay. I don't know where the Rein's at. Could get shattered because you don't have your flight. Yep. I mean, at this point, you're 2 minutes into the game, you got to expect a shatter, right? Let's be real here. You got to expect a shatter, so you have to play around that too to expect that shatter. At this point, you're basically, if you had to fly up under the bridge and play around it, instead you just stand there and eventually fall over. There's no way you can win that if you're getting yourself shattered in that situation. You're 2 minutes in, that Rein has it. Even though they did swap off of D.Va. Too high in the air with that gives them time, you might still get a kill. Yeah, just too high in the air, you want to give that a little bit more... Like, if they were just standing on point with no Rein, I can see that, but... Try to use it as more of a heal tool, but either way, I think you're going to go down here and... Yeah. Okay, you're getting aggressive on the choke. I actually don't mind this. I like getting... Yeah, oh, wait, never mind. Okay, that's my bad. I slightly zoned there, and not like on like the bot itself, but like just seeing where your teammates were, and your teammates were really far behind, so you've kind of put them in a right... Yeah. So I love the idea of stopping the choke here because you can basically get multiple team fights, but if your teammates are all the way back here, which is what they were, they have no follow-up on that one. So unless you have like the best movement ever and you can survive this initially to like just stop a little bit of time, which you could do if you have the movement for it, you're just going to leave your teammates in a spot where they're on like they're in catch-up mode and they're just following you around the whole time. Unfortunately, they're going to demech you there and you kind of giving them a little bit of opportunity. There goes your Yari. You're going to fall over. So again, I like the idea, but you got to check for your team. You can't go flying right to the point there if you don't look back at your team, okay? All right. Here we go. Yep. Thankfully, that Rein overfed. So, one thing you're doing there is, like, I think your team ended up making the right decision of playing back. Remember when you flew to the cart? I didn't like that concept because, like, you just can play this choke here. It's not really a choke, but a lot of people don't realize how strong, like, this part of the map can be on Eichenwald. See this, like, kind of like this whole area where, like, the cart is? Some people try to force the team fight here. I'm not a fan of that sometimes. I think you actually want to, like, if you don't have the capability of getting to them with multiple heroes, I think actually playing here and then using the map to rotate around them is the way to do it rather than just, like, fly at them here at the bridge. Thankfully, their Rein missed their charge and, like, you were able to kind of get a kill, but I still feel like you're constantly using your boosters, right? Like, you using your boosters constantly has been kind of putting your teammates in a little bit of a rough spot at times. And I've been noticing that quite a bit, so just wanted you to be a little bit wary on that one. Yeah, okay. Like right now, this is doing nothing for you. You're doing 3 damage. You're in the middle of the open. You're just standing here. This is not what you want to do. What I would do, I'd be up here. And the reason why you go up here is why, right? You're going to go, well, the reason why you go up here is why. That's it. You just go up here. Why? No, the reason why you go up here is because now you have an opportunity, right? You can become more of that like D.Va assassin rather than the stand still here and just do nothing D.Va, right? So you go up here, you kind of look around. You can get some value. You know, you go here, start shooting at the Rhine a little bit, but then you wait, right? And the moment you wait for, and I can kind of just do it now while you're just sitting there, right? Say you're on the bridge, right? Nothing to do right now. You're doing nothing. I'm watching you on D.Va. You're taking some damage up there. Okay. So now imagine this. You are up here, right? You're going, yeah, but the Rhine's in the cart. Look what the cart is, okay? You have time. Look at this. You have plenty of time. Look where everything is. So if you're up here, you can then fly down now, go for like a really quick kill on the Sojourn, on the Kiriko, force a TP, maybe go for the BAP. You see the free kills you have? Instead, you're just sitting here, right? You're just sitting here on the cart. You're leaving this up to your teammates to make a bunch of plays while you're just sitting here. Instead of you going into the backline, getting a free team fight win and resetting them back another 30, 45 seconds, you've now not only given them space, but you haven't really been able to do much. And that's why setup time becomes important. You can D.Va ult this now, right? But like, see ya. Yep, right in front of a Reinhardt. Thankfully, your teammates gets a kill, and you do get a kill too. Don't get me wrong. It was a good aggressive ultimate, but I would have went higher up in the air so that way the Rhine can't charge you. You can do that same ultimate with a little bit more airtime, and now that Rhine isn't going to shatter you because you can maneuver yourself in the middle of the air. Thankfully, you got the kill. But I hope you're seeing what I'm saying. You're missing out on a lot of really good backline opportunity. Like right there, see how easy it was to kill that Bastion? You can do that all the time. Yep. Yeah, be the initiator. That's a good chain of advice. Yeah, exactly. When is Jeff, and Jeff? It's going to be around 3 to 4 p.m. today. Give or take. I don't have a set time because we have to wait till people arrive. You know, everything's set up, but around 3 to 4 is what I'm aiming for right now, okay? Eastern, that is. Yep. You notice how you're just playing very static? You're not really going for high ground control. You're not trying to gain some like map control. You're not doing like all this stuff. This is exactly what I'm referencing to you in that situation. You're just not going for plays that you should be going for, in my opinion. You're basically just playing Reinhardt as D.Va. You know, if you watch some of my early spectatings, one of the advice I'd always give is play the hero. Play a hero that you're playing, not play like the other heroes. I feel like you're playing more Reinhardt or Overwatch 1 style D.Va than you are playing Overwatch 2 style D.Va or more mobile characters. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yep. Good kill in the back line. Remember, everybody, you can eat Bastion ultimate. Just look up at the air at it. You can eat it. You can block it with stuff. I do it all the time. You can deflect it with Genji. Anyway, there's the game. You won the game. Listen, you had some good moments on D.Va. Mechanics, actually, I think is going to be your strength, which honestly, like for gold, is really good. Having the ability to kind of have that mechanics in gold already is really nice. But your problem is you're right. You actually are doing a good job of figuring out the problem. You're not peeling correctly because when I say you're not peeling correctly is you're so concentrated on keeping your teammates alive defensively that you're missing out on so much opportunity. D.Va now is more of a backline assassin that you set up, right? Kind of like the old Winston playstyle, even in Overwatch 1. You set up on the high grounds, you set up around them, you get a free kill, you use your mobility as an escape. You hear that? As an escape. If you're playing D.Va correctly, most of the time, it's going to be used as a way to escape out, not fly 2 feet in front of you. So clean up that flying with that one. Stop trying to just go back and help your teammates at all time. Most of tanking now as D.Va is just going for backline trades. Anytime you get a kill or two, or you get a cooldown out, it's a victory. That is a good thing. You're not always going to be able to win. You're not always going to be able to do that. But like I said, if you watch a lot of like where Overwatch is at now, that's what Overwatch is. Sometimes you just have 3 kills on your team, 5 kills on the other, and you just trade out. But then now you have a numbers advantage on retake. So work on that, clean that up, and you're going to be good. You got this. You absolutely got this. You like the video? Hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't. You want to submit your own. My Discord's where you do that pretty much for all my videos. And if you want to see another one of these spectatings or cool videos, it's going to pop up in the bottom. You're going to see a square right here, so click that. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day/night.